Hey guys, this is Sendai 8 coming back at you with something completely different and non-Game & Watch related today. I want to do a response video real quick because someone did one for me. I don't know if that's how these things are done, but OldSchoolNYCGamer, Sid, did one for me talking about a Game & Watch game that he grew up with. So I said, what could I do that Sid is into? And the only classic Atari machine that I own is actually an arcade game. So let's take a look at this. This is my Crystal Castles machine, which pretty much the only Atari piece of hardware that I have. I'm not proud of it, but I'm proud of this game, but I'm not proud of the fact that I mainly just use Stella and other emulators for Atari. But this is really the only piece of Atari hardware I own, which I guess is not so bad. It's, you know, 6 foot 3 inches tall and weighs a ton. So this is my office, by the way, where I work. I work from home. So I'm not going to show you a lot of this room since my workstation is a mess. But let's go ahead and take a look at this game. Crystal Castles was made in 1983 by a programmer called Franz Lanzinger, and it's kind of famous because it's the first game that had three-dimensional levels. And just like Gamester81 is fond of saying here, the lines on the monitor are not from the game, they're from my camera. So you can see there are multiple levels that are kind of stacked up cubically to give you like a pseudo 3D kind of environment. There are also elevators that you can ride up and down, which that was the first time that video games ever had that. 83, Franz Lanzinger, like I said. There's a great website that's run by the guy who was the world champion for a long time at this game, named Mark Alpiger. And if you guys ever watch King of Kong, which I'm sure you all have, he figures prominently in that movie. He's the guy at the beginning with a mustache, real skinny, and he's always wearing like a Centipede shirt or a classic game shirt. He had the world record on this machine forever, and there's a guy named Frank Say that has it now. But Alpiger also has the world record playing it with his feet. It's a trackball game. And when I saw what his foot score was, it's insane. I can't touch it with my hands. So I guess what I should do is I should just tell you how I got this game. I grew up in upstate New York, way up by Buffalo. And where I grew up, the pizzeria had one of these machines. And for some reason, I guess everyone had a game like this in the early 80s, that this was the game you had to be good at to be, you know, considered legit with all the cool kids. And I was never that great at this game, but my whole life I remember that I enjoyed playing it. And I picked this up from a root operator about 10 years ago now. I guess it was back in '99. You can see it's still got a root tag on it. This one was actually in a bar, so it took me a long time to clean up. And I've actually bought a complete, I have an NOS set of all the front details and graphics. I just don't really have the balls to put it on because this all has to come off. I'm going to have to sandblast it or something. So everything you see here is all original. It's got a little bit of rust around the holes, but in general, for an 83 machine, all I've had to do is put some light bulbs in it, like the marquee light bulbs were out. One of the speaker wires was a little bad, so I replaced that. I had to put a new bulb in under the trackball so it lights up still. And what else? Oh, it needed a soundboard when I got it, but I bought a set from a root operator's warehouse. I have like 5 soundboards for this thing. This is one of the first Atari machines that used a Pokey chip for sound, so actually pretty plentiful and cheap. I've got a huge box of boards in the garage for it. I also bought the schematic manual and the regular manual for like $100 when collecting games at home was more popular than it is now. And it turned out that the guy was nice enough that he actually had left a set inside the machine, which I never saw until I bought my other set. So you can see they didn't make a whole lot of games that were as pretty as this one. My wife and I just adopted a kitten, so I've actually got it flush with the wall, and you can't see it quite as well from this angle. But you can see the painting is just beautiful on this cabinet. The T-molding on mine is pretty much perfect. All the side art looks great. It really does need new control panel art and stuff. Like I said, I have the whole set, and I've got to go through and do that sometime. It has the Sunnyvale, California tag on the back. It was made at the Atari factory, the old one. And I really do like that it was on a root. Like, I don't think I would change these root tags. You know, this thing was out on the front lines when games were popular and making fans. So, in any case, I am going to go ahead and pause this, and we'll go run through one quick gameplay session, and that'll be it. So, my only classic hardware from Atari, Crystal Castles, 1983. Be right. Alright you guys, I'm back. I'm going to go ahead and run you through one game real quick. There are some great speedrun videos on this game. Crystal Castle is very unusual. Also, it has an end, which many 80s games did not. And furthermore, one other cool thing about this game is they ran out of funding. They came right down to the wire on their development of this game, so they had to use classical music for all the sound. They didn't have the money to write anymore, but I think that kind of adds a lot to this game. So let's see what happens to gameplay. Throw a quarter in. It has no attract music either. Crystal Castles doesn't, which is bizarre for an 80s game. Let's go ahead and start the game. And you can play this game for free even on Atari's website, but I pity the fool who doesn't have a trackball, because this game is really not easy without one. There's a ton of warps, like, let's see this one here. Where is it? There's a warp that'll take us through a couple levels. And there's another warp on this level, but I go through big phases where I'll play this game for hours and hours and get up in the middle of the night and come in here and play it, but I also go through big phases where I almost never play it. And it is really cool to have a game in your house. Like, it really does make it feel like the 80s a little bit, and I really enjoy it. So, oh, I missed that warp. I'm just going to go ahead and die. That's Crystal Castles. Highly recommend getting a classic arcade machine in your house if you have the room. It's definitely been enjoyable for me, definitely takes me back, and I wouldn't change it. Here's the ending. Music. Sounds pretty good. In any case, that's it, you guys. And Sid, thanks a lot for tagging me. OldSchoolNYCGamer, check out his channel. And this is Crystal Castles from '83. Thanks, guys.